accounts at Yahoo and then mail to them. You log into the account and you see where your mail was delivered. If it was delivered to the inbox, excellent. That probably means that the global filters at Yahoo delivered that mail to the inbox for the majority of their subscribers. If it got delivered to the spam folder, that's bad news. That means that they're probably delivering it to the spam folder for all of their users at Yahoo. And if you don't ever see it reach the inbox, that's even worse. That means that probably your reputation has gotten so bad that they can't even deliver it to the spam folder. And that means that you should probably pay attention and start to look at your bounce files. But we'll go into that in just a second as well. So when I had them, this major retailer actually send to their seed list, I actually found that it was their sender reputation. I also took their IP address and I put that into senderscore.org. And for those of you that haven't looked up your sender score yet, I'll remind you guys, go to senderscore.org/AMA, input your IP address or your range of IP addresses, and you can find out what your sender score is. And you can kind of see what the problems and things that you need to work on in your mail program today. So when this major fashion retailer actually took a look at it, they found that they had very high complaint rates. They also found that they were having list issues, list hygiene issues specifically. I had mentioned briefly before things like they had a lot of unknown users and they had some spam traps on their file as well. And additionally, they also had infrastructure problems. So here's the curious thing about this. They were actually using an email service provider. They were using a third party to handle this for them. And they were relying on their email service provider to actually fix a lot of those issues. Unfortunately, they shouldn't have thought that because it was up to them to fix some of these issues. The other thing was just IP permanence. So they had, and what I mean by that is how long have you been mailing off an IP address, and has your volume been pretty consistent? And fortunately for them, they did have a couple of IP addresses that were brand new that they were mailing from, and a lot of that mail wasn't being mailed from. The reason why is because, well, the internet service providers say, you know what, if we see a brand new IP address, we can't tell how good your reputation is. So we're only going to allow a very small amount of mail through. We're going to monitor it to see if you're worthy enough to have most of your mail sent through. Sounds a little heavy-handed, and it is. And it's, like I mentioned before, it's because 90% of all email is spam. And spammers typically have to, you guessed it, rotate through a bunch of IPs. So they send from one IP address, they get caught spamming, so they have to move to another. So that's why the ISPs have to track things like IP permanence. And then also message quality. So this goes back to not only just your content filtering, but are you using any third-party links within your content that could be causing reputation issues? So a good example of that would be like URL shorteners like bit.ly. A lot of you are probably familiar with bit.ly, and that's bit.ly. You just enter in